All right, chat. Now, I thought we should pull up and check this out. Now, this is Tom MacDonald before he was famous. Now, I'm thinking I'm about to start doing a little reaction series to the before the fame so we can get better acquainted with the artists before they were famous. We cover a lot of Tom's music. We cover a lot of the artist music that we're going to react to for the before the fame. Chat, we ain't about to waste no time. We about to dive straight into this.
Tim Pringle here with our little brother from another mother.
You already know, Tom MacDonald.
Before Tom MacDonald would begin his professional career as a wrestler for organizations like Elite Canadian Championship Wrestling and Real Canadian Wrestling.
All-star Tom MacDonald making his way to the ring, weighed in at 182 pounds.
Before Tom MacDonald would go on to draw Best Rapper Ever, which would beat out songs from Eminem's deluxe edition of Music to Be Murdered By to land on the top of iTunes charts. Before Tom...
Oh, shit. Big Tom.
Tom MacDonald would have over 60,000 followers on Twitter, 350,000 followers on Instagram, and over 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube at the time of this recording. Beating your idol on the iTunes charts, even if it's just for an hour or a minute, well, that's one hell of a surreal moment.
Facts.
Now, for Tom, Eminem, he was obviously a massive influence, but it was actually a Tupac album that first had him fall in love with hip-hop. Now, the road...
Yeah. Yeah. Tupac's my all-time favorite artist and Lil Wayne, you know what I mean? Got the Tupac tat on my chest. Through every dark night, there's a brighter day. Facts.
Success, it's been a long and hard one, and he nearly drank his life away over the span of 5 years. He was also dealing with crippling depression. Now, Tom, he's finally on the other side of things, but he knows all well, too, how horrifying it can be to hit rock bottom. Now, this Canadian rapper grew up in a small town in British Columbia, and after a foray into the world of professional wrestling, well, he began working as a rapper, dropping his first album, Leanne's Son, back in 2014. Now, since then, he's developed and refined his talent further, leading to his most successful track yet, Best Rapper Ever. Now, you guys might have seen this one on the trending of YouTube, but it's just one of 4 videos that he's dropped in the past 50 days that have all clocked in millions of views. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden. First up, Happy New Year's. Now, I'm sure some members of Tom's hangover gang, well, they're probably still recovering. 2020, it was a bit of a shit show.
Technically, I'm part of Hangover Gang right now. I don't know how I look this well on camera versus how I'm feeling. I got turned up last night.
But a lot of good stuff happened here before they're famous. I'm going to be making another video later this week updating you guys on everything. Now, big shout out to Tom, who answered all our questions to help us piece this one together. And a similar video you might enjoy includes one on Mercules and That's Dax, both Canadian rappers. All right, let's get into this video.
I don't know why Billie Eilish looks so good to me.
Canadian rappers. All right, let's get into this video.
Something about her. I don't know.
Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom!
Hey.
Thomas MacDonald was born on September 21st, 1988 in a very small town in
Look
British
at baby
Columbia.
Tom. Tom, I know what you look like as a kid now. Hold
Thomas
on.
MacDonald
Oh, look at baby Tom.
was born on September 21st, 1988
Baby
in a very
Tom.
small town in British Columbia known as Mission, which is about a 2-hour drive outside of Vancouver. There, Tom spent the first 13 years of his life attending a school known as Albert McMahon Elementary. Then when he was a teenager, his family, they packed up and they moved to Edmonton, Alberta. Now, I've actually been there, and some refer to it as Deadmonton, which in the dead of winter, well, it's a pretty fitting name. Now, he would live here for the next 6 years, and he attended a ton of schools, including York Elementary, Steel Heights Junior High, J.J. Boland Junior High, and St. Joseph's High School. Now, when he was still just a kid, well, his dad, he worked a number of odd jobs in scrap yards, lumber mills, and recycling plants. Now, he even once traveled as far as Alaska to help out with a demolition job. Now, basically, Pops, he did whatever he could to help take care of his family. Now, Tom's dad, he did it eventually, settling into a role helping with contract negotiations for a company in Fort McMurray. Now, for those of you who don't know this place, it's like Canada's Abu Dhabi or Dubai. It just ain't fancy. It's just all construction workers up there. For real. One Tim Hortons. On the other side of the coin, well, Tom's mom, she worked as a teller before eventually becoming the manager of their local branch of Bank of Montreal.
Oh, look at baby face Tom, dog. dog. What?
Now, if you're expecting to hear that Tom's relationship with his parents was a rough one and they just didn't understand their son or his passions, well, that isn't this story. Now, in fact, Tom, he tells us that his parents, they always pushed him to follow his dreams no matter what they were. Now, regardless of what Tom was going through in his life, they always believed in him. Through all the failed classes, the lost jobs, and self-destruction via alcoholism, well, his parents, they always had faith in their son.
My dad took the poem that I wrote, that I got the low score on, and he gave it to a multi-time published Canadian author who is a poet. And she read it, and she said, you know, Jamie, Thomas wrote something far beyond his years in this poem.
In fact, he vividly recalls his parents sitting him down and telling him that they would support him whatever his ambitions were, even if he just wanted to move to Florida and build sandcastles for a living. They were confident that those would be the best sandcastles ever made. Now, Tom also grew up with his sister as well, and
Man, more people need to surround their children with that type of feeling. I know I was raised in a household like that. I felt like I could move mountains with my brain, bro, just because my mom said I could.
He's even more proud of her than she is of him and his success, especially considering recent world events. Now, Tom's sister, she works as a registered nurse and is right now on the front lines working in operating rooms to help with the pandemic in Canada's COVID units. So yeah, like a huge shout out to her and all the amazing work she's doing right now. Now, with all that support in his corner, well, Tom, he had to decide what he wanted to do with his life. Now, at first, he wanted to become a professional wrestler because as a teenager, well, he was a huge fan of Stone Cold Steve Austin. And he was willing to do whatever it took to be just like his idol.
Honestly, I'm just so tired. I just want to go.
If you're excited to drop your brand new video, give me a hell yeah, Tom.
Hell yeah, Steve. Hell yeah.
So when he was just 14 years old, well, Tom, he began training for his future in the wrestling ring. Within 6 months, he was having his very first wrestling match. A year later, he was on a bi-weekly wrestling television show in Canada called Canadian Wrestling Legends.
There's a flag with a lady in a red shirt and a white and a rascal as she gets tipped over there.
Was that Tom flipping?
Oh, they get spotted in the match.
Tom crazy.
There we go. And let's draw heat.
Now, because Tom was wrestling while still in high school, he was placed in a unique educational system known as ISD.
Hold on, was that Nova? Are they like childhood sweethearts?
Tom was wrestling while still in high school. He was placed in a unique educational
Yo, is that Nova?
system known as ISDL, or Independent Self-Directed Learning. What that meant is that he attended classes and seminars in certain subjects, then did the schoolwork and tests in his own time. Now, this allowed Tom to finish his education system while spending like 3/4 of his day in the gym, lifting weights and preparing for his upcoming matches. After graduating from high school, Tom, he would go on to work as a professional wrestler
Tom looked crazy right here. He looked like he tried to kill people in the ring.
for a handful of years. Now, all in all, he worked the wrestling circuit for 6 years, including promotions like Prairie Wrestling Alliance and Monster Pro Wrestling. Now, anyone who's ever tried to make a living in that industry knows how difficult it can be. It's a lot of hard work
what
for
up,
very
y'all?
little pay until you
Happy
make it
Saturday.
big. So Tom, well, he had to supplement his income by working
I hope you guys are living up to the name Hangover Gang. I know I am. I'm still trying to recover.
construction jobs. Now, he primarily worked as a carpenter, building a lot of houses and businesses in both the residential and the commercial sectors. Then we'd also head up north.
I thought it would be cool to pull up and react to Tom before he was famous, since we do a lot of his music reactions. I feel like a lot of this I already knew just from the music, but there's some things I did pick up that I didn't know.
Working logging camps and oil rigs to make some more extra money on the side. But through all the wrestling, the carpentry, and the physical labor, well, Tom, he was harboring a secret passion, a desire to rap.
Oh, shit. What the hell?
Now, Tom had always wanted to do something that affected people on a real level, which is why being a musician has always been intriguing to him. Ever since his dad first took him to a pawn shop, gave him $5, and Tom, he bought himself Tupac's All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
Well, he's been
One of the most classic albums ever, bruh.
hooked ever since. Now, Tom had never heard of Tupac before, and this album had changed his life. He fell in love with it and hip-hop in general. But as a white kid from the Canadian suburbs, well, Tom knew there was a huge disconnect between himself and the music he loved. So from there, he began writing poetry as a way to bridge the gap. Now, eventually, those poems, they turned into rock songs, and Tom, he worked for a long time on refining this
Look, he got the little girl, bro. What?
for himself, before determining that he simply didn't have the voice of a rock star. Then one day in school, a friend, he told him all about this record that he had stolen from his older brother. It was an album from a white rapper named Eminem. Tom gave the record a listen and his mind was blown. Almost instantly, that
Cowboy Tom.
disconnect he felt between himself and hip-hop, it disintegrated
Cowboy Tom unlocked.
altogether. Now Tom knew from that point forward that he could accomplish his dreams.
I hate to say it, but Eminem came out
Yep.
with a real Slim Shady, Please Stand Up.
Yep.
And I just remember seeing the video and I was like, yo, this guy looks like me. This guy's got, you know, this little white boy, he's got blonde hair, he's got blue eyes, and he's dope.
So Tom, he started writing raps in secret. Now he even started writing them while he was still a professional wrestler. Now by the time his pro wrestling career had ended, well, he knew what his next move was gonna be. He bought professional software and recording equipment and he started making his own beats.
It's kind of like a weird thing, actually. I was like a professional wrestler, like the WWF stuff, before the music came along. And then just due to a lot of different circumstances, I sort of got out of the wrestling thing, and I just had all this, you know, pent-up creativity. I've just always been that kid.
Right.
And I always just really just loved music.
Before long, he was working with a producer known as OV and dropping his first album, Leanne's Son. Around this time, he moved back to Vancouver on his own and started collaborating with a rapper named Matt Brevner, dropping his first music video, Dark Side of the Moon. Now, at first, he thought he had to write songs about money, girls, and cars because that's what popular rappers do. Now, this only led to inner turmoil that was further fueled by things like drinking, weed, and partying.
Facts. That's why I be saying, why do people be hating on Tom? He don't be rapping about drugs, lean, big booty hoes. He be talking about social issues, bro.
Also, that other stupid shit that tends to get in the way.
Facts.
Now, things got so bad, there were days when he couldn't even manage to eat something as simple as an egg or a piece of toast. Not to
Damn.
mention the sleepless nights, which had him turning into a shell of his former self. In fact, Tom, he had something of a mental breakdown not too far along into his musical career. Now, this event, it radically changed his life after spending a year in a really bad place, not making any music, while he realized that he wasn't being authentic to himself.
I used to love to be in public. Now I'd rather be.
Oh, so this is where this came from. We put this in the Easy Mill versus Tom battle. So this is where this video came from, man.
Be alone. And even though it's difficult, it's probably for the best. If I didn't make a change, I would have drank myself to death.
Thus, he gave up his vices and he turned his gaze inward to figure things out. With the help of people like his good friend Brendan Hart and the woman who would one day become his partner in crime and his best friend in the world, Nova Rockefeller. We'll have more on her in just a second. Now, eventually, Tom, well, he made it out to the other side. Not only that, well, he learned what was important to him and that he had things he wanted to say in his music.
Shit, should we do one on Nova too? Because I don't know anything about her. We covered hella fucking Tom music reactions, but I don't know anything about Nova.
It was then in 2017 that he was experiencing his first real signs of success with his track Dear Rappers. Nova would go on to shoot and edit all of Tom's music videos over the years, and her wealth of knowledge pertaining to the industry, well, it's kept him on the right path navigating the business side of things. Now, she's the teammate that Tom never knew he needed, but she would wind up saving his life. After 13 years of friendship, well, they graduated to something more, and the pair, well, they've been together as a couple for over 4 years now. In terms of his process, well, Tom...
Oh, so it's only been 4 years. Okay.
works his
Well,
heart...
hold on. How old is this? Oh, we got to do some investigation. 2021, so it's about 5 years now. Okay.
As he possibly can, putting in 20-hour days consistently. He figures if he can outdo himself each and every day, he'll eventually get to a place he wants to be in his life. And with hit tracks like Coronavirus and Best Rapper Ever, well, I'd say that Tom, he's closer than ever to accomplishing his dreams.
Now we gotta react to that Best Rapper Ever. Fuck it, I might do it after this.
There was a while there where Tom had to fight for his life every single day for 9 months straight, where the minutes they felt like days and the days felt like eternity. Now, not only did he survive that ordeal, but he overcame his vices, and Tom, he wants anyone who listens to his music to know that they can do it too. As cliche as it may sound, tough times don't last, tough people do. And those are the last words that Tom, he would like to leave.
Oh, that's one of my favorite quotes. All right, Tom, we here, bruh. Tough times don't last, tough people do. I swear that's one of my favorite quotes.
For all his fans. All right.
I say that shit all the time. Like when my little kid be like, damn. I always hit him with that quote. Oh, that's what's up, Tom.
A huge shout out to Tom for helping us flesh out this video, answering all our questions. As for the rest of the story, well, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see because this is before they were famous. My name is Mike McCrudden. We drop a new video each and every day, so if you're not subscribed, please do. Also turn on them post notifications. This channel does big things. We get in contact with all the stars, and it's nice when they collab with us because you ain't hearing this anywhere else. All right, I'll see you guys in another video. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Now
all right, that shit was fire. It was cool to see little baby Tom. It was cool to see baby Tom. Definitely Hangman. It really feels. It shows his power. Yeah, like I feel like Hey You by Nova. Make sure that you guys put it in the comment section down below so I don't forget, because the live chat is gonna go away when I end the video. I think I'm about to react to Best Rapper Ever. I don't think I've done that on the channel right after this. This was cool. I got to see Baby Tom. I only knew Big Time, but it was cool to see Baby Tom. Yo, chat, let me know all your y'all suggestions in the comment section box below. Now you have, now you call him Big Time. Yeah, that was cool to see, baby. What, he had the little chubby cheeks, bro. I figured out. Damn, we got a lot. Like from the music, I knew we had a lot in common. But like just hearing that one of his favorite quotes is also one of mine. Just seeing how he grew up and how he was raised, and how his parents pretty much pumped him with, hey, if you feel like you could move mountains with your brain, you could do it. That's how I was raised too. So there was a lot of similarities. I love this. I love this shit a lot. Chat, we about to pull up and react to Best Rapper Alive by Tom MacDonald. That's a fact. But before we do all that, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, bang that notification bell in the description box below. You can find a link to my Discord. All right? And follow me on all my socials. Chat, we getting